the wonder of you.
Stands are one of the most fascinating entities that spawned from JoJo's bizarre adventure in the mind of Hirohiko Araki. They exist as a personification of a person's fighting spirit that each have a specific design and power that reflects the user. I wanted to talk about some of my favourite examples of stands and their users throughout the story of JoJo's, but I won't be starting with the first section of the story where they appeared, Stardust Crusaders, because they're kind of boring for the most part. Here's a stand that can punch really hard. Here's a stand that can control fire. I'm grateful for this part introducing stands as a force in the story which varied up the fights, but later parts introduced more bizarre concepts for Araki to play with. How about we journey through every part and talk about my favourite stands and their users to see what makes a top tier combination. By the way, spoilers for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Heaven's Door from Diamond is Unbreakable is a short range stand with some amazing abilities such as being able to turn people into books. Isn't there another stand in that part that does that? It allows the user to read everything about a person, essentially turning them into an open book. The stand can also rewrite a person's mind by removing memories or hypnotizing them into doing what the user wants. This fits Heaven's Door's user Rohan Kishibe, who is also a mangaka, essentially the writer of the story who can manipulate people like characters through the use of his stand. There has been speculation that Araki based Rohan off himself, which he has denied even though he's one of his favourite characters in the franchise, which leaves you to wonder. The design of Heaven's Door is based on the main character of Rohan's manga, which further emphasizes his role as both stand user and mangaka, giving him power. A mangaka is someone who creates manga, if you didn't know. The stand's name is based on the Bob Dylan song Knocking on Heaven's Door. Araki loves his musical references as much as I do. White Album from Part 5, Golden Wind, has a plethora of abilities, so its primary one is becoming armor for its user made out of ice. The stand can decrease temperatures to a degree below -100 with ease. Its ice armor forms around the user to protect them while also creating skis for them to travel. White Album's user is Gyatcho, who is a constantly pissed off man due to his need for logic in everything. If he finds fault in something, he is known to fly off the handle into a rage and state how that doesn't make sense when you think about it. His stand requires precision to control it to the best of its abilities, including its final one known as Gently Weeps. This power allows White Album to lower temperatures so low that ice shards form in the air which Gyatcho can use to attack enemies. The base design of the armor reminds me of a demon or Oni considering Japanese mythology. Something I've noticed is that Araki will introduce a concept and use it briefly before dropping it, like wearable or requiem stands. It would be fascinating to see something like an armored stand again in the future, especially in the Steel Ball Run universe. White Album is based on the Beatles album with a blank white cover. Foo Fighters is an interesting take on a stand and user. They're from the 6-part Stone Ocean. Foo Fighters is both a user and a stand in one package. This entity was created when our antagonist Poochie threw one of the stand discs into the ocean and it landed in a colony of plankton. The disc merged with the colony, created a new being. This resulted in Foo Fighters, who is tasked to guard the stand disc before befriending the JoJo of the part Jolene and joining their side and possessing a dead prisoner. The abilities of FF are varied due to its strange creations, such as water manipulation to being able to use its finger as a gun. The design could be seen as a precursor to stand seen in the following parts, considering it has a barely humanoid appearance, which makes sense considering its unorthodox method of creation. Foo Fighters is a new being, fusing stand and organism together. The combination of user and stand adds more to this character than just being a superpower for a fight. This being is fighting for its survival and it needs water to sustain itself or it will die. It goes for an arc of discovery and learning, making FF best girl in Stone Ocean, after Jolene of course. The character's name is based on the band of the same name, Foo Fighters. Fascinates me how Araki can come up with new ideas for his manga after so many years. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap is one of the most powerful stands in the franchise. It was particularly difficult to pick a favourite from Steel Ball Run, considering it's both my favourite part of JoJo and there are so many good stands in it, such as Sugar Mountain Spring and Civil War, but considering it also belongs to my favourite villain in the story, I had to talk about it. D4C is its shortened name and has the ability to traverse parallel universes. It's difficult to explain this stand considering its abilities were redefined after its introduction in Steel Ball Run, but it's got monstrous strength and can bring different versions of people from other universes to the main universe where the story is set. On top of that, if the user is mortally wounded and they're between an object like a door or a flag, then the stand can bring an alternate version of the user to the main universe to replace them. This isn't complicated at all. Bunny Valentine was the president of the United States of America in Steel Ball Run. He was also the user of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. It makes sense why his stand would have a lot of abilities beyond just Valentine being the main antagonist of the part. His position as the president and his will to find the holy corpse of Jesus Christ to help bring prosperity to his nation shows his fighting spirit, which manifests as his stand. Plus, I've always been fascinated with the idea of parallel universes since I read the comic Exiles from Marvel, so one of my favourite stories tackling the concept is delicious to me. D4C's design follows the trend of other stands looking more mechanical in the Steel Ball Run universe over the humanoid of the original universe. The stand's name is based on the song of the same name by AC/DC. Vitamin C is a short-range stand which covers an area in strange fingerprint markings. When someone touches the markings, their bodies begin to soften to a liquid state or instantly just based on the user. Tamaki Demo is the head of the rock human smuggling operation in Morio in JoJo's, the 8th part. Demo uses his stand in order to deal with anyone who threatens his operation. It works for someone who wants to use the stand for control and interrogation by taking down a person into a state of helplessness. Vitamin C matches the main look of the Steel Ball Run JoJo'lian designs of mechanical life forms. It's more visually interesting and alien to me, which I enjoy seeing in JoJo's. It also reminds me of a jester, which is funny considering the king motif of the main family stands in JoJo'lian. Vitamin C's name is based on the song of the same name by the German rock band Can. My point with this video being the perfect cocktail for a stand is how well they blend with their users. Well, apart from Foo Fighters, but they're already a fascinating combination of the two. The designs are important, which is why I mentioned them throughout this video, as they can tell even more about a character's story than just the dialogue. Or am I just overanalyzing a nearly 40-year-old manga about people hitting each other with ghosts? I think I'm going to finish this video by pointing out that I didn't put any of the main JoJo stands on this list. Sorry, Stone Free. If you like this video, please give a like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. More content from yours truly. Also, follow me on Twitter for the link in the description. Cheers for watching.